Due to EPA regulations, vehicles are required to have a way to verify EGR flow. Ford uses a DPFE sensor to do just that. DPFE stands for Delta Pressure Feedback EGR, and these sensors tell the computer whether there's correct flow in the EGR circuit. Delta means change, and in this case it's the difference or change in exhaust gas pressure on each side of the EGR tube orifice. The original equipment DPFE nearly always failed due to corrosion on the diaphragm and seal, just like this example did. Here's the advantage. Our engineers replaced the old technology mechanical diaphragm design with an all-new solid-state dual-pressure sensor design. With this design, exhaust gases now exert pressure on these two small orifices on the bottom of the circuit board. Exhaust gas can enter, but the pressure is precisely measured at each port. The differential, or change, between the two tells the computer whether there's correct flow through the EGR system. We improved on that old mechanical design by replacing it with a digitally controlled, intelligent integrated circuit. Our DPFE sensors are engineered and manufactured right here in the US. And the proof of the pudding? The OEs are now using the very same design. Advantage Wells.
Hey, welcome to another live Wells Tech training event. We are so happy you are here. Today we're going to be talking about a P0443. What kind of car is that?
We got a 2010 Fusion here.
2010 Fusion with a P0443. And if you haven't run into that, you're going to appreciate this class. All right, but before we get started, yes, this is the big giveaway. For the month of December, we are going to be giving away a set of back probes with every training class, okay? And this is the one for this. And what we're going to be doing is we'll ask a question, and everyone that sends in the correct answer, their name will be put into a hat, and we'll have one of the secretaries pull out the winner for that training class.
Perfect.
Okay, so no matter which training class you watch, there you go. You're going to have an opportunity. Everybody's got a shot.
Cool.
Okay, and here they are. And we got these from AES Wave. They donated them for us to us. They said they wanted us to give them away as a Christmas present. What a great Christmas present. If you've never used real back probes, you are in for a treat.
Beats a paperclip, that's for sure.
Absolutely, no doubt. Okay, so here we go. Here's the question. What does this symbol mean? This is an electronic symbol. What does that symbol mean? And we talked about this a couple training classes ago. Okay, so if you were watching our old classes, you should have this right on the tip of your tongue. All right, so send that in, and everyone who sends in the correct answer is going to win a t-shirt.
Perfect.
Okay, so there you go. You don't have to be the first one. Everybody with the correct answer wins a t-shirt. There you go. All right, 2010 Fusion with the P0443. Now, when that came in, the first thing we did was
hooked up the scan tool and checked what code was in there
verified
for the check
the
engine
code,
light.
right? And then we went in to our computer and checked to see what that code exactly meant, right?
Exactly, yep.
And
so first step, we go ahead and punched it into Identifix.
punched it into Identifix, and what came up? Well, there it is.
You can see there that it looks like no confirmed fixes at all for this exact code.
Actually, let's zoom in on that a little bit. Bring up the next slide here.
There we go.
Okay, there it is. Now we zoomed in a little bit so we can see it. P0443 means
evap purge solenoid malfunction.
Right. There's a problem. Malfunction. There's a problem with that evap purge solenoid.
Right.
All right. The other curious part about the Identifix was there were no confirmed fixes.
It's kind of a weird
Isn't
thing.
that unusual?
Yeah.
Okay. So we started to look into it a little bit further.
Yeah.
Okay. This was pretty straightforward, and we'll say, you know, that was the fix. We went out there, we checked the purge solenoid, and it had failed.
Right.
Okay. And so that's a pretty straightforward fix, right? If you get that P0443.
Yep.
All right. What we found is that you don't always get that code.
Exactly. Yeah. It's kind of a strange one.
And that's where the strangeness comes in.
Right.
Okay. The code that you would normally get first is like a P0171.
Yeah. A lean code. Yep.
Right. A lean code. So let's bring up that next slide here. Okay. Perfect. All right, and let's zoom in a little bit. Let's bring up slide number 4. Okay, right there. Let's go back to slide number 4. Okay, now, if you look at slide number 4, you'll see that P0171 and the most common repair is
that purge solenoid.
that purge solenoid. All right.
Kind of strange.
So here's where the trick comes in, right? And you might want to explain this.
Yeah.
All right, if you do not, now P0443 is an evap code.
Exactly, yep.
Okay, so in order for that code to set, you have to run the evap monitor.
Right. And
okay, so what happens?
Well, the PCM uses its good old logic in there that nobody really understands except the engineers, but the PCM will take into effect that it's not going to run the evap test until it's passed the other tests, the drivability, like the P0171 code. If that's in the PCM, your car will never run an evap test.
And there you have it.
It won't get that far.
So stop right there. All right, so what Mike is saying here is if the computer detects an emission problem, okay, meaning we're putting out higher emissions than what we should.
Right.
All right, and that's what a P0171 means.
Right.
Even though we're running lean, our emissions are high.
Right.
And that's why it sets. P0174, you can see, is also a code on there.
Yep.
Right? And there's a couple other ones that I can't quite see from here, but there are other codes that are associated with that, and they all point towards that purge solenoid.
Right.
Okay? So now, if that code comes up and we do not have Identifix,
right,
what happens then?
Well, most people, if they don't know specifically to this vehicle, they'd be looking for, say, fuel issues or vacuum leaks.
Mass airflow or
exactly.
something like that, right? A vacuum leak, something that can cause a lean running engine. And you could be looking a long time before you went to that purge solenoid.
Well, exactly, yeah. I mean, just hooking a fuel gauge up takes at least, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah. You could spend a lot of time diagnosing this vehicle before you went there. And that's the point of this training class, is just to give you a heads up. You know, if you're in the, 2010 era with these Ford Fusions. What size engine was that?
This is a 2.5, but the 3 liters as well have the same issue.
Okay.
Same purge valve, and also on the Escapes.
Okay.
So Escape 2.5 and 3 liter are also the same.
So there
very common.
Right. If you get a lean code on those, first place you should be looking is that purge solenoid.
Yeah.
And when we go to the vehicle, we're going to show them exactly how to test one. It's not hard to test. It isn't that the testing is difficult, it's getting to the right part.
Yeah.
Especially if you don't have Identifix, something here to reference back.
Right.
If you're looking up, if you're using all data or maybe even IATN, I didn't look at IATN, but that might be tough to find in there, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But if you're just using all data, boy, you're going to have a tough time. You're going to have a tough time finding this one.
Yeah.
So that's the point, is if you get lean or even a rich code.
Yep. Or say some of these, before they even code, sometimes they'll come in backfiring or misfiring or
there you go,
stalling,
or a drivability issue.
Yep.
If you may not remember, in fact, I know you don't remember, but years ago, for the guys that have been repairing cars for a while, when the only time that you actually did anything with a purge valve, a vacuum valve that used to be on vehicles, is when it was stuck.
Okay.
And it would be stuck open.
Right.
Right? And so it'd be drawing all those fumes in all the time.
Right.
So you'd have a hose that connected to it and a canister that's all full of fuel.
Yep.
That kind of thing. And virtually this is what this is doing.
That's exactly
it's the same
what this is
thing.
doing. Yep.
So when you ran into those symptoms years ago, you knew one of the places you need to look was that purge solenoid.
Right, okay.
And so that's how it used to happen, and it's happening again. And history repeats itself.
Exactly, yep.
Okay, so good stuff. And let's bring up that last one. Okay, and you found this.
Yeah, this is just an article that I had found out on Yahoo that was posted, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago or so.
Right.
Saying that Ford is going to be looking into doing a recall on these purge solenoids because they're causing a lot of issues.
Right. So it's not necessarily a safety issue.
Right.
But a lot of issues with drivability, people getting stalled, and probably technicians not being able to find what's going on.
Maybe long warranty times and stuff because they're seeing people chasing down 171 codes instead of looking at that purge valve right away.
Yes, very much so.
And so the recall there, it's just saying that the purge valve can fail and cause pressure buildup in the tank, and it could actually, I guess, cause fuel tank problems too.
Right, that's what they're saying in this, that, you know, it could actually cause a leak.
Right.
So now we are talking safety.
Yeah,
and that's why,
safety.
you know, that's what always brings these recalls or, you know, that kind of stuff to light.
Right,
is
exactly.
the safety issues.
Yep.
You know, nobody wants anybody getting hurt out there.
Yeah.
So, yep, that's good stuff though. Excellent.
Okay.
Anything else you'd like to add?
No, I don't think so. Should we go over to the car and test this thing?
Let's go over there. Let's do it. Let's take our back probes with us.
All right, let's
Will
do
we
it.
need these?
Not really. I think we can do
won't.
most of it with a vacuum gauge this time.
All right, well, let's take them anyways, just in case.
All right,
okay.
sounds good.
Okay. All right. So now we got sound again. We just found out that we didn't have sound. So let's go back over where we were and
Sure.
explain. First of all, explain the.
All right. We'll go back to our purge valve then.
Right. Let's go to the jib.
All right. Now that you guys can hear us, we can talk about this. So we got our purge valve here. Our tool room was nice enough to cut it apart. This end here
Whoops. That's okay.
is down in the car. The end with the blue O-ring on it would go to the intake manifold. The other end to our evap canister. So actually, this is the part though that does all the work. This has a series of windings in here, and when our PCM grounds this, the windings energize, current flows, and creates a magnetic field, and it sucks our little plunger here back in, creating a valve, I guess.
Right, a gate.
Creating a gate, yeah. So then we get engine vacuum back to our canister. The problem with these, when these fail, is they stick, and then we're constantly sending engine vacuum back, which would give us
That's
our
why we get the
171.
P0171. Right, exactly. Okay, let's go to our there we go.
There.
And so that's why we get that P0171, and that's why it's so confusing, and that's why we're here, is because I'll tell you what, if I got one of these vehicles in my shop and I got a P0171 on it, and I didn't have Identifix or ATM to go look, I'd be looking all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of vacuum hoses, could be intake gaskets, fuel related.
Okay, let's do a restart here quick and...
All right. So now, when this car would come in, I'd pull codes, check the codes, figure out we got 443. So then go ahead, go out to NFX, things like that. Then I would come to our purge valve here, and what we want to do is we want to unplug our purge, just take the electrical connector off, and then take the hose off that goes into our evap canister. And if you go ahead and start it up now, Mark, we should have no vacuum coming out of this. It's not being controlled. It should be completely closed.
All right, you ready?
Yep, go ahead.
Here we go.
Go to our vacuum gauge here, and you can see right away our gauge spikes up. So we're getting engine vacuum through this thing, even as I reset it. Okay?
Ready?
So we know for sure that our purge valve is not working. It's stuck open right now.
Right, and we got to explain that when we first checked this morning, you know, before our broadcast here, it was closed.
It was closed, yep.
Okay, so when you have something like this, remember that they do go intermittently.
Yeah.
And so you have to activate it a few times to make sure that it's actually sealing.
Yep.
So that's what we're going to do right now.
Right, and there's a couple other ways to do that. We'll do the easiest way. We'll try it with the scan tool first.
We can do it with the scan tool, and then we'll show you an alternative way to do it.
So with the scan tool, we got to plug it back in, and he's going to go in and do output controls and try and control this thing. So as he clicks the button here with the key turned on, we should hear the solenoid clicking.
Okay, give me a minute here.
On. And we should hear it click.
It'll be a minute here.
All right, having some scan tool difficulties.
Let's see here. Evap. Did we have any winners?
Actually, I'll go take a look. Oh, we got a bunch of different comments here. All right, yes, a lot of comments about our audio problems. Sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
A couple different answers. Alternator resistor from Eduardo. Somebody else said resistor.
Okay. Well, let's do this quick and we'll catch that.
Yeah, we'll get back to that in a few minutes here.
Okay, we're ready.
All right, go ahead and activate it. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that or not, but it's definitely clicking right now. All right, you can turn it off. So we know now that our PCM is definitely able to control the valve. But say
we know that the wiring is good too and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
So, and the computer is able to control it. But what if we don't have a scan tool, or even there's a quicker way to do it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
With the wiring diagram?
Yeah. So actually, I went ahead and printed off our wiring diagram.
Yep.
Just like we always do. I mean,
right.
Great resource right here.
Always got to do the wiring diagram.
So you can see here that we have our power sources coming in, and this actually uses shared power with a bunch of other sensors.
Right.
So it's going to use a power, and then the PCM is actually going to ground this.
Right.
And when the PCM grounds it, it turns it on. So right now we want to kind of act as a PCM.
We're going to do the PCM.
Yep. So with the key on, we'll go ahead, take our jumper lead.
Make sure the key is on. Yes, it is.
Going to use one of these back probes that we're going to be giving away to you guys.
Oh yeah, very good.
We'll
show you it works.
Somebody's getting a used set.
You're right.
So we'll go ahead, back probe into our white and black wire here, which is the control wire going to the PCM. And then if we take the other end of our lead here and we go to ground, it clicks.
Right.
So every time we go ahead and touch this to ground, we're actuating the solenoid and it's clicking.
Yep.
So we know that it's working.
Yep, let's switch. And okay.
There you go.
That's perfect, you know, and you don't have to disconnect anything. You don't have to do anything. That's all you have to know is which wire the computer is controlling with, have the key on, activate it. And you can do that with a lot of different sensors.
Yep.
And everything.
And this way too, if we had an intermittent problem, we would have just actuated it a few times. We'd go ahead, start it back up, and check it again.
And check it again. Right, exactly right. Yep. And that's what we did this morning. That's exactly what we did this morning, and sure enough, it acted up right away.
Yeah.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent.
So one other thing, with this thing being that it's drawing direct vacuum back to our gas tank, if we had a full tank of gas or something, it is possible fuel could actually get sucked up in the line. So it would be a good idea when you do these jobs to go ahead, lift the car up, pull the hoses off the evap canister, and make sure that the
clear.
Canister's not full of gas.
Right, if it's full of gas, you have to replace it.
Yep, it breaks down the charcoal inside there.
Okay, good point, Mike. All right, no audio, yep. Okay, let's see what we got here. If you don't need those probes, I'll take them, Vinny says. Okay, Vinny, let's see here. Can we work that so we can look and see what the answers were?
All the answers are on the left there, yep. And then actually it looks like the first one's here with the alternator resistor.
Okay, what that actually is, what that solid line box, what that means is that everything...
Mob Kitty.
Mob Kitty?
Named it exactly perfect.
The solid line means what is inside the box is a complete picture of what is in that box, and that is absolutely correct, Mob Kitty. That is a great answer, and I can tell you that this guy has watched our broadcast because he's right on, and that's exactly what that's exactly how we explained it last time. And there was one person there that said that was a relay, removable relay.
Yeah,
that is also correct.
That was Parrot.
I didn't expect that answer, but that is a correct answer. So you guys send me in an email with your shirt size. Whoever answered it correctly, can you bring up my email address, Glenn, please?
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Mark.hicks@wellsve. Send me an email, shirt size, and mailing address. And what we're going to do is we're going to put everybody's name that answered it correctly into a hat, and whoever, we'll have a secretary pull out the name, and whoever's name gets pulled out gets sent the back probes. So there you go, and a shirt. So everybody that has a correct answer is going to get a shirt. So if you answered it correctly, please send me an email, and we'll get that out to you. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Anything else you'd like to add?
Mob City just wanted to tell us that it is city there.
It is city. Okay,
but
yeah, I know.
After seeing that picture he sent us.
I know. That was a great picture, by the way, Mob City, Mob Kitty. You're my Mob Kitty guy, you know. But that was excellent. We're going to show that next time out. We're going to show all the photographs of all the guys that have the Wells Tech T-shirts, and that photograph's going to be in there too for our Christmas show. So there you go. All right, we'll see you again next time. Without you being there, we would not be here. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you again next time in the Wells Tech Garage.
See you then. Go Packers.